Hey everybody, welcome. It's me, John aka Knowlsy, and I'm back. As you can see by the title of the video, it's time to put my name in the hat, so to speak. It is Operation TFNation for me now that I'm back from holiday. Seeing as my good friends Tim and Chris Gaunt, or Wadimus Minor and so on, and Tony have already started making their YouTube their videos in relation to TFN 2023. I have yet to make videos asking questions, and of course, if you wish to respond, do a video response, or I will be posting these questions on social media as well. So if people that don't have YouTube channels or don't really do YouTube, they can also participate in a thread sort of environment. It is time to do my TFN questions, video number 1 for TFNation 2023. Today I have 5 questions. A couple of them are ones that I think I've asked before, and I've tried to also ask questions that I've probably never asked before. I apologise if I shoot myself in the foot. It is very difficult to remember questions I've already asked, and I don't want to step on other people's toes either, that I've already done videos for this year asking questions. Anyway, without further ado, let's do it. Question number 1. Now, this is a question that is both for regular attendees and new attendees. Question number 1 is, why do you or why did you choose to go to TFNation? So I'm going to also answer my own questions here as well. Why do I go to TFNation? Or why did I decide to go to TFNation in the first place? So obviously TFNation, I used to go to a convention called Auto Assembly, which was its own convention, and some of the people that worked behind the scenes also would follow on to bring us TFNation. Auto Assembly, unfortunately, is no longer around, and TFNation sort of like not continued, but it was a brand new convention, but yet with some regular faces behind the scenes, but yet they wanted to carry it going forward. So yeah, I've been going to conventions since 2010, and Auto Assembly 2010 was my first convention. And so going to TFNation was sort of like, well, when the last Auto Assembly happened and it was confirmed that Auto Assembly was finished, everybody was very, very upset, including myself, Tony, and a few other people, because it's the thing. It's like the highlight of the year for many of us. And when we thought that was it, we generally was very concerned. And then when the news hit that TFN was going to start up a new convention, but yet with some familiar faces, with a whole new slogan, new name and all that, TFNation, I had to go. So that was the main reason why I had to go, because I wanted to see if it was any different or what they had to offer. And I've never looked back. I've never looked back on making that decision to go along to TFNation. I generally think it is incredibly well run. I'm not trying to be biased with this. This is just generally my opinion. TFNation for me is the pinnacle convention not for Transformers fans. Of course, it's a Transformers convention first and foremost, of course, but it's also a way for me to be social, to catch up with good friends, and also they do an incredible job with getting some great guests, comic book related, voice actor related, writers, so on and so forth. They have really done well, and also they've had Stan Bush as well, which was incredible. So they do an incredible work, the people behind the scenes, Billy and everybody. So yeah, they do an incredible job. So that is why I go, is to see my friends, catch up with people, and have a mosey on around the dealer room, see what there is, and meet some guests. Obviously this year it'd be Sue Blue, which I'm very much looking forward to seeing. But yeah, it's going to be fantastic, so I'm very much looking forward to see what's in store this year, very much. So let's move on to question number 2. So question number 2 is, what panel or panels, because it could be multiple, not necessarily just one, but what panel or panels are you most looking forward to this year? So for me, to answer that question is, well, last year I missed the opportunity to go to Andy Cousin's. So I missed out on seeing Andy Cousin's panel last year. He's obviously at TFN 2023 as well, so it's fantastic. So I missed him. I actually wanted to go, but I got a bit waylaid with socialising and all that stuff and doing other stuff. And unfortunately I missed it. So the Andy Cousin's his panel's gonna be on the Friday in evening or afternoon. So that's very much looking like a thing. Also, they've got a Gundam panel on this year, which is like an alternative thing. It is still giant robots, but obviously it's a different franchise. But it's basically looking into kind of the history and what made it a phenomenon in Japan, and also how to get started in the hobby of building Gunpla, which is the model kits. So that is another panel I want to go and see. That's again on the Friday, I believe. Also, I want to check out obviously Sue Blue. I love going to the voice actor panels. Very insightful and interesting. So Sue Blue, obviously, she is definitely the highlight guest, I would say, and not to undershadow anyone else that have been announced, but it's just Sue Blue. You know, she is obviously RC from the '86 movie, and also reprised the role of RC in animated, and also she's a voice director. She directed Beast Wars, voice directed Beast Wars, so she's going to have some interesting stories about what it was like working with and recording some stuff with the cast of Beast Wars. So that's going to be very interesting. Also, there's another panel. Oh yeah, David Sabalov. I want to check out his, even though I've already met David Sabalov in the past, but I would very much want to check out David Sabalov. So yeah, there's plenty of stuff. I mean, they're kind of announcing. They've been announcing a lot of different panels, but I will work it out when I get the actual program and I can actually go off of it and everything. So let's move on to question number 3. This is a question I've asked multiple times in the past. So like I said, there's a couple on here that I've asked before, but it is still a good question to ask. And also the TFN people like this question as well, so they've got an idea of who to maybe approach for maybe future events. So this is question number 3. What guests would you love to see make an appearance at a future TFNation? Now, this could be relating to a voice actor, it could be a writer, comic book artist, whatever it is. It doesn't generally matter. It could be any sort of guest, even a musician. They've already had Stan Bush. So again, I'd love to. Obviously, it'd be interesting if Stan Bush actually comes back again, but that was sort of like a one-off. I don't know whether that's going to happen, but you've got like Weird Al, and you've got like Vince DiCola and other people that you could bring into it. So yeah, what guests? So for me, my personal draw when it comes to guests is voice actors. I'm not much into the comic book side of it as other people are. Yes, I dabble in comic books to a certain point, but I don't go into them hardcore or collect everything that comes out. So for me, it's always the voice actors that are my draw to really go to an event, as well as the people, my friends. So I'm going to try and keep it as... This is the thing, a lot of people are going to, if anyone does respond to this, there's going to be people saying about A-list voice actors. Now, I do know that A-list voice actors, I'm not saying it's never going to happen, like Frank Pete, so on and so forth, Corey Burton, Tara Strong, those kind of big names. Now, I'm not going to say, and I'd never rule it out because, quite frankly, who knows? But I'm going to try and keep it downscaled a little bit to the point of much more possible. Now, obviously, when it comes to voice actors, there have to be someone that has voiced a Transformer, of course, and also worked on a Transformers comic book and written for a comic book or even a novel, whatever it is. So, or even an episode of a series. So they have to have worked on Transformers, of course, because it's a Transformers convention. So, for me, when it comes to voice actors, there's quite a lot. I mean, I'd love to see Steve Blum. Now, I have met Steve Blum, but this was at an auto assembly. He's never been to a TFNation, so he would be a big possibility in the future, I'd say. Steve Blum is an incredible talent. He voiced Starscream in Transformers Prime, and he's also been in countless other shows, mostly anime, English dubbed version of anime stuff, Cowboy Bebop, to name one. You know, he's also Digimon as well, for any Digimon fans out there. You know, he is a big name. He's not quite A-list, but yet he is quite a sought after voice actor. Also, he's also been in Star Wars as well. So yeah, I'd love to see Steve Blum. I'd love Scott McNeil. Now, I have mentioned Scott McNeil many times. Now, I don't know what. I mean, obviously, Scott McNeil is making an appearance at a convention this year alongside Sue Blue as well. I believe it's TFCon or BotCon. So Scott McNeil's been pretty quiet on the convention circuit, and also I don't know what he's been working on really. I haven't really checked him out much. But Scott McNeil, he's kind of been quiet, and all of a sudden he's finally gone to a convention in America for obviously BotCon. So I'd love to see Scott McNeil. Again, I've met Scott McNeil, but again it was Auto Assembly back in 2010, which was my first ever convention, alongside Gary Chalk. And also I met Gary Chalk a couple of times as well, and also he was at TFN last year as well. So Scott McNeil will be another one. Trying to think of names. I'd love to see Doug Parker. Doug Parker, if those people that don't know who he is, he voiced Pterosaur in Beast Wars. I don't know whether he does convention appearances, but there has, I don't know, but he again, I mean, I love my Beast Wars, and I would love to meet more of the cast of Beast Wars. I've met a couple of them over the years, but I would love to meet some more, as well as Doug Parker. So yeah, I'd say to try and keep it more minimal of answering questions, but there's at least 3 names I've thrown out there. So there's loads buzzing around my head, but I want to try and keep it grounded enough without going into A-list territory, because it gets quite complicated and very hard, or a bit more difficult for A-list voice actors. Even though, again, I would never rule it out. I mean, obviously, I'd love to see, like everybody would love to see Frank and Pete make an appearance, Corey Burton. But I believe if they got Corey Burton, I've heard rumours that Corey Burton will only do a convention appearance, possibly if he's with like Frank or Pete. I believe they share the same agent. I don't know if that's true or not. But yeah. I'd love to meet those guys, of course, and also Phil Lamar, who's another big name I'd love to meet, because obviously he was Prowl in Transformers Animated. So I'd love to meet Phil Lamar, because obviously he is an incredible voice actor talent. Yeah, so there we go. Let's move on to question number 4. Question number 4 is asking a question of alternative panels. Like obviously each year the TFN peeps, or the crew, they put on alternative panels that are in relation to not in relation to Transformers. They are an alternative panel, alternative programming. So it could be based on a different series, a different toy line, a different continuity, a different series completely. Obviously this year the alternative panel, there's a couple alternative panels this year. There's one that's been announced about basically composing for stop motion, which is obviously that's different, but obviously it's Transformers related, but it's obviously talking about stop motion, which is again another panel which is relation to a previous question, but that is definitely a panel I'd like to check out as well, because I love stop motion. But yeah, so what alternative panels would you like the TFN crew to put on or to add to the list in the future? For me, I mean, in the past there was a panel for Visionaries that was done by the Mapes brothers. Obviously they've done two panels, or they've done two alternative events about Gundam, Mobile Suit Gundam. There's plenty of other 80s properties, other sidelines that they could delve into. I'd love them to do a panel in regard. Oh, there's also been an alternative panel for the Brave series, which is kind of based on Transformers, but it's not Transformers at the same time. For me to answer that question, there's so many different versions of, again, 80s properties, but I'd love a alternative panel for Mask. Again, that is more like in the realms of G.I. Joe, because they're sort of in the same, well, they are kind of in the same universe. So I don't see why not. They are transforming vehicles after all. Yeah, they might not be robots, but they are transforming vehicles. So that would work perfectly at Transformers Convention as an alternative panel. So I'd love Mask. I love Mask. There's obviously G.I. Joe Action Force. I don't know whether they'll do that. I don't know, but that's again Masters of the Universe, Gargoyles. Again, I know it's not Transformers related, but it doesn't have to be. It's an alternative programming, so it doesn't matter if it does. It's not necessarily a giant robot. It could be anything. So yeah, there's a couple of options there for me. I'm also D&D related, because I know there's a lot of people that are Dungeons and Dragons fans. I've never played the game, but yeah, I would love to go to a panel to understand how it works. So yeah, and the last question number 5, is asking, what other toy lines would you like to see in the dealer room? Now, this is a question that, now, I've asked this question before myself, and other people probably have as well. So, yes, it's a Transformers convention. We know that. Everybody knows that. Hence why there's TF in the goddamn name of the convention. But sometimes the dealer room, you might find some gems that are not in any shape or form related to Transformers. You know, there's people that sell I almost said Beast Wars for a second there, idiot. Anyway, so there's some dealer tables that have other things. Could be Masters of the Universe, could be Power Rangers related, could be anything really, Mask, anything. So what toy lines would you like to see in the dealer room besides Transformers? Of course, that's what people are going for, is Transformers, but yeah, collectors are collectors. You know, there are other lines that people hold dear to their hearts besides Transformers, and sometimes dealers kind of try to change things up on their tables a little bit to kind of offer something new. Now, I don't know if it's going to be at TFN this year. I don't know if it's been announced of who's going to be in the dealer room or not yet. I'd have to go and check. But my good friend of Gundam Mad, I believe his stall's called. It's a Gundam stall, but he sells a couple. There might be some Transformers related stuff on there, probably model kits. But he mostly goes into Gundam related stuff. It's basically model kits, Mobile Suit Gundam. Also, it goes into things from Bandai, such as Power Rangers related. It could be Transformers model kits, because there are Transformers model kits. You know, his table is more centered around that sort of thing. So I'm always going to his table and have a catch up with the guy, because he's a great guy who owns that store and stall. Other lines, again, Mask. I would love to get a couple mask stuff. I'd love to get some mask toys. I used to have a couple of them, but I got rid of them because they were broken. They were broken when I bought them, but yeah, I never really bothered with them, so I just got rid of them over the years. But yeah, mask would be another. I would love to see if there's any mask stuff. Biker Mice from Mars is another one. Power Rangers is obviously, I see Power Rangers a lot in the dealer room, so I'm not really going to include that. Yeah, Gundam. Again, that's also. There's only been I think maybe once or twice where that Gundam stall hasn't been there, but yeah, that is usually where I usually go to at the main events. So yeah, there we go. So that's all 5 questions. That's what I'm going to say about so far, because this video's gone on long enough as it is. But yeah, so that is my 5 questions for now. Please, like I said at the beginning of the video, if you wish to make a video response, or I will be posting the actual questions as a thread thing for people to get involved that maybe don't have a YouTube channel, as well, on social media, on Facebook, in some of the Facebook groups, as well as on Twitter, and also well, maybe not Twitter, because Twitter can be a little bit fit. Oh no, I can work it. I can work it. I can work it. I can do it with a Twitter. I've just figured out a way I could do it. But yeah, so I'm on social media. If you're interested, my social media tags will be in the comments below. Also, you will find below all the questions I've asked in this video will be in the description box, because I know a lot of people ask that. Please put your questions in the description box, because it makes it easier for anyone that would like to participate in answering. It makes it easier for people. But like I say, I have edited this video with them actually on screen, but I will also put them physically so people can copy and paste them or go to them if they need to, if they want to do a response. So check the description below. Also check for the link as well. I'll put a link to the TFNation website. So if you are new or still on the fence of going this year or at a future event, then all the necessary information is there for you. But thank you so much for watching. So this has been my TFNation questions video number 1. I will possibly try and do one more before it happens. I will probably do a response. If anyone else comes up with any more videos, question videos of their own, I will probably do a response to those as well. I know Rodimus Mana, Chris and Tim, they've done a questions video, so I need to give that a watch and probably participate in their questions as well. Even though I did do the do's and don'ts response, but yeah, I want to also do the response to their actual questions as well. So yeah, plenty of TFNation related stuff, and also I will be making another update video very soon as well, because they are starting to announce all the programming now. I don't think there's going to be any more guest announcements. I think they've finished. So I think now it's just operation, get the programming, the main, get people's interest. So that's what they seem to be focusing on at the moment. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'm looking forward to see people's responses and what people think of the questions. I know they're a bit samey to a degree, but I've tried to also be open to both new and regular people as well that may see this. But anyway, thank you. See you soon. Check the description box for everything you need, questions, and also the website and all my social labels if you wish to follow me on social media. Thank you so much. See you soon. Bye-bye.